did. I've called him multiple times.
You said it's a silver maple prune, right?
Yeah, there's 2 Seattle jobs. So yeah,
that's like something he'd like to do.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's safety meeting day too.
Yeah, the foreman's not even here. He's not answering. He's also the safety coordinator. Does our safety meetings.
Yeah.
He's not here. Safety meeting day.
Safety meeting day, and
call him again.
We better be really safe because Fridays.
I don't know. Without Caleb's meetings.
Well, it's gonna be a really dangerous day today.
without Caleb's guidance. Yeah. Well, he better show up. I hope he shows up.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then we can shame him.
Shame, yes. Yeah. That is the plan.
When I was a kid, my dad thought that we could save a lot of money if he started raising catfish. So for a while we lived in this single wide trailer when I was little, and my dad was raising catfish in the bathtub. It was just crazy because when you're a little kid you don't think anything of it, so I'd be going to the bathroom in there and there was just this like tub full of black fish swimming in there, and to feed him he somehow procured these, like, he'd get like boxes of frogs and he would just let them loose in the bathroom and they would find their way to the water, and then they would get in there and the catfish would eat them, and that's how he raised the catfish. And then eventually they got big enough and we ate them. And yeah, I was really little, so I don't remember exactly like what my mom thought about the whole thing, but I don't think she was overly excited to have, you know, a hatchery in the bathroom. But yeah, we straight up had a tub full of these big black catfish swimming around in there.
Glad you guys could make it.
You got here before we did, so not bad actually.
Yeah, it is a really big tree.
Yeah, so this is a good example of having a tree. It's just a big tree in a small backyard, so we're trying to shorten it up a little bit. You can see over here, it's all up in the wires. So in the power lines over here, and then the communication wires here. And the low branches are, you know, encroaching on the livable space in the backyard, so we're going to raise the canopy a little bit. We're going to try to bring this, we're just trying to make the tree a little smaller, trying to contain it, because they want to preserve the tree. They like it. It's a nice tree. It's a silver maple, but it's a very broad tree, so we're just going to try to contain it a little bit, and it should be pretty fun, and it should go pretty well. It actually, I think it's going to look really nice when we're done, Caleb.
Oh yeah.
Blue? Huh? I think yours sinks last.
Now he's got video evidence of how retarded you guys are.
I have no idea.
I got a good brain.
Look at the big brain on chain.
I don't need to think, we got Nick. You hold the top button until it starts blinking. So everybody holds it until it starts blinking, and then Caleb taps it once and it should sink them all.
Blinking.
Both these are blinking?
I'm blinking. We're all blinking?
Yeah.
I like the Senna so much better.
Oh, mine went purple.
Senna suck. You suck.
You suck.
You suck.
We all know that you're the one who sucks.
Nick probably knows how to do it. Think we're all here?
Hey!
I can't get my
Hey!
Okay. So this is Caleb. That's Jaron. Jesse. This is Nicholas. This is our diversity. Yeah.
What's up?
He does all the, he's really good at math. So numbers, yeah.
The math part.
He's really good at numbers, so that's why we keep him around. So I don't think I've done any videos yet on pruning on this channel, but you know, I want to start doing some more of them because it's a really important part of the industry, and you know, it's what we do. We don't, you know, we've got 5 crews. We're not always just doing big crane removals. We do a lot of this stuff too. So it'll be cool to show you, you know, what this process looks like. This is a big tree to prune, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. First time shooting one of these.
this is gonna be awkward. Oh, now you want to do the safety meeting. Forget it. It's too late. Dude, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get your rope in there for a while. I gotta clear all this stuff. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna be of any help getting you up here, Caleb. I can't get to that side. I'm just gonna throw your line back to the base of the tree. So I'm trying to just set Caleb's rope for him, but I can't get to that side of the tree, so he's just gonna shoot a line up there. This is called a throw line, and this is called a big shot. So this is basically just a method of getting a bigger rope a lot higher into the tree. Yeah, so basically we've got this heavier weight on top of a really light line, and we're just gonna put that into this slingshot here. Let's see. Try and identify a branch that we want to be in. I think I want to be in that. I don't know. We're gonna shoot for a couple here and see what we get. I think I want to be over here. Yeah. So you just load her up in the slingshot. Kind of aim. Let's see. Might have gotten that one a little too high. All right, so what's happened is the union that I want up there, my line went over a branch above it, and then when I pulled it back, the throw ball came to the wrong side of that union. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna drop this down to the ground, switch sides, and put that and pull it back up the other way and try and fling it over. So, setting up to ascend a tree like this, we tend to just pull a lot of line into the system, and then we'll come over to the base of the tree and we'll pop it on over. Do our best to hit Jesse. And then we've got a couple of different knots that we use as our anchor. So our first knot is a running bowline right here, and then we always finish that with a Yosemite finish. Anything that's life support is always finished with a Yosemite finish. Rest and set, and then we'll pull that tight, and then up here we do what's called a safety knot, and this allows the guys to unweight that lower knot and lower me if anything were to go wrong. Now we got that. Let's see. Hey Jared, can I have you weight this with me? See if we break this thing. Oh, that feels good. Okay. That was exactly what I needed. That broke the little branch. All right, let's really give it a weight now. Okay. All right, so now that we've gone through and we've set our line, we've weight tested the line. now it's time for the fun stuff. We get to ascend up and do some work. So my climbing setup is quite a bit more complicated than the majority that you're gonna see. I've got a very, very long lanyard, and that kind of assists me in getting around the canopy. I can throw that around the canopy and hook onto stuff and pull myself over if I need to. And then I have a knee ascender, and on the back of my harness here, I have a foot ascender. And these help me get up the rope, allow me to walk the rope like a ladder, almost. We always take our handsaw up, just in case we got to make a more controlled cut, or need to cut something off of our system for some reason. It's always best to have a rope. Hey Nick, would you be kind enough to pack up this throw line I got here? And then I feel like I threw the ball somewhere in there. Thank you, sir.
Nick, if you throw 300 feet of throw line 150 feet in the air, how much throw line did you just throw in the air?
Yeah, Nick's on. Nick's on. He's just calculating.
What's the question?
You gotta talk louder, Nick.
Oh my God, he's a genius. So something else about this system is this little accessory carabiner here. This is gonna hold this system up close to my chest. That way, as I'm going up, if I sit back into it, this is gonna be held up high rather than sinking down low, hitting my ascenders. Because if you watch, as I go up, this ascender tends, and it keeps this out of the way.
Yeah, and here I have the bucket truck, which is another method to operate it. You want to squeeze the handle, and you want to lift it, and then you move. As you can see, I'm much faster than Caleb. At least twice as fast. Big hitter. What I'm doing is interesting too, Caleb. I'm probably not going to do too many more big cuts on this side. You know, it's really sprawled out, but you know, I'll probably cut some smaller branches now on this side, just because if I keep doing big cuts like that, eventually I could potentially put the tree in a worse position than where we started. So, you know, it's really a balancing act of trying to contain the tree, but also trying to keep it healthy, you know?
Yeah, and when you're pruning, you don't want to just like leave stubs. You want to cut them back to these laterals right here. You know, if you're reducing a branch, the rule of thumb is you want the lateral you're reducing it to be 1/3 or greater the diameter of the stem that you're removing. So this is a pretty nice lateral right here. I could reduce it right here, but I don't even need to go that far. I'm just going to buzz them right here, because if the branch is sufficiently little, I don't worry about the laterals too much on, you know, a big tree like this. If I were fine pruning, I would, but just something like this. You know, and if this were like a Japanese maple or something, you know, that little tear right there would probably be a big deal, but it's a giant tree. You know, it's just
it's no big deal. You can't get in here with hand snips and do the whole thing. It's just not efficient.
So, Jake, were you able to get this side of the tree over here?
Yeah, I think I can. I think I can get this from over from this setup. So see here, there's a lot of tree over the neighbor's yard. There's a lot of tree over the neighbor's yard here. I want to trim it back so it's not encroaching on their property so much. I don't want to just laser beam it because that'll cause more problems, you know, in the future, and it'll look really ugly. It won't look natural. So what I'll do is I'll look for the very longest ones and I'll just remove those completely. So selectively removing the longest ones, and that reduces the overall length at which the canopy protrudes without compromising its natural structure, you know. So it just brings the whole canopy back and you've still got those long natural looking branches. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna find the very worst offenders and take those out. You know, so in this situation I'd rather do a few big cuts than a whole bunch of small cuts. I think we're better off that way. And a lot of times when a tree's pruned well, you know, you don't necessarily want to look at a tree and immediately realize that somebody is just cutting on it, you know. So the more natural looking you keep it, the better. You can see what happens here. Somebody took this branch and they just buzzed it off right there, flat cut it, and then you get these epicormic shoots that grow off of it, and this big, you know, pot of it. This is not closing up that nicely right here. There's a lot of work that could be done in this tree, you know, like ideally the stuff that's crossing and rubbing, I'd want to take that out, but because we're already removing so much other material, stuff like this, in a perfect world, oh, actually that one's dead, so I will take that out. There's no limit to how much dead wood you can take out. But you know, there's other stuff in here that's rubbing and stuff that might be nice to cut out in theory, but because we're removing so much material on the outside, we want to try to conserve some of that because we don't want the tree to freak out too much, you know. So maybe in a couple years we come back and do a more meticulous job thinning out the inside.
All right, yeah, so what I'm doing here is redirecting. So personally, I like that anchor point better than this scrawnier branch here. But this scrawnier branch is more central to the canopy. And we're gonna end up doing 2 or 3 more redirects to get over to that side of the canopy at one point. But this is gonna be the first step. So it's called a half hitch redirect. Cool, because we can tension this section and then we can sit down on it and it keeps that tension. My favorite. So this system that I'm climbing on, this is called a SRT system. It's a single rope technique. So what's cool about this is my device here moves up and down the rope rather than the rope moving around the branch to get me up and down. So no matter where I go, where I redirect, all my friction is going to be the same. And I can put as many redirects in as I want.
Yes, and this is a single bucket technique. So I have one lift that I'm using, which is much easier to do than operating 2 at the same time. And as you can clearly see, Caleb is not the only person doing cool stuff right now. This is very cool.
We've set our anchor point for our rigging. And we're gonna take the rope. We're gonna feed it down a more direct path to the ground so it's not going over so many things.
Caleb, can you see me?
Yeah, I can.
There's like one long branch right here I'd like to take off, but I can't get to it.
Okay.
My bucket. It's just the, I mean, I can do a lot of cool stuff, but it's this one. I can't. I'm gonna break.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
I will run over there.
I'm gonna take a couple tiny snips off the tips, and then I'm gonna move the bucket.
Yeah. sometimes you've got to sweet talk the tree. That way it does what you want it to do.
Yes, I have to become one with my bucket. Yeah, you're probably thinking anybody can do this, but
Yeah. No. We are specially trained.
takes a team, you know. You in the tree, me in the bucket, Nick doing the math.
Yeah, I can see the math.
Jesse driving the truck. Not sure what Jaron does yet.
Alright, so that is our second redirect for the day. As you can see, our reading line's going in a weird place, so we're going to get that back to a good spot. Take it and pop that over. Bring it back over to me. Now we're not rubbing anymore.
Okay, so this side's done. I'm gonna move it. You know, it's not perfectly level, but you know, this isn't a hedge, it's a mature tree, so we want it to be, you know, somewhat natural looking, but we did get it pushed back from the wires, pushed back from the house, got it raised up a bit. I need to park somehow. I need to get that side.
All right, Jesse, I'm gonna start making an undercut and then I'm gonna have you pull up on it. Go ahead and tug up. Yep. All right, go ahead and bring her on down a little bit. I'm gonna get you down a little further and then I'm gonna clip you into the redirect. All right, go ahead and hold. All right, go ahead and bring it down. Oh my God, my triceps are so locked up right now.
Why?
Oh, because Caleb's a bodybuilder now.
Have you been working out?
Oh yeah, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going every day now.
Are you getting super buff?
Yeah, I'm pretty small.
Hey, I just wanted to come over here and say I could have done this one. As far as moving around in the canopy goes, Caleb is the man. He's really good at this sort of work. He's also the one that showed me the electric chainsaw, so I gotta thank him. He stole my hard hat. He stole my hard hat, but he did show me.
I'm pretty sure that I had this look before Jake had this look.
I don't think so.
You know,
I
came to work for my interview the first week, and he was like, "Man, that guy's cool. I'm gonna pull out my my plaid jacket and look exactly like Caleb."
What's the difference between plaid and flannel? What's the difference?
No. I think plaid is the design, whereas flannel is the material.
Yeah. Should have a race.
Okay.
Alright. Man versus machine. Ready? We'll go up to like 20 feet. Ready?
Are we ready?
I'm going. That's not fair. I don't know how it's not fair, but it's not fair.
You guys could probably see that over there, my rope was barely touching the ground. It wasn't even touching the ground. It was like head height to Jake, which is pretty darn close to the ground. But it was like head height to Jake. And that's because it's probably pretty obvious, but it's because as we do these redirects, you can see we're taking line up now, going horizontally rather than vertically. So with every horizontal foot, we'll of course lose that vertical foot. You're always in the way, Jake. This is my time. I'm a star. Get out of my shot.
You're like a sidekick, okay? I'm Batman.
I'm Batman, you're Robin. All right. So we got a thing. We're gonna roll some rope around a bit. That'd be cool. So we've got our hook kind of over a branch. Now ideally we would have been able to shake that thing back into the stem here, but we had this little twig in the way.
Just get the twig out and then go back to where you
Yeah.
were.
I don't really want to do that, but we will advance up a bit further since we're out here. So we're gonna throw it to the tip. All right, so that's the good one. So we got that one sitting in the union. The captain hook's pretty sick because it's built in a way that it orients itself on the branch. So I don't know if you could get a good shot of that orienting. I got the captain hook and I've got this positioner 2 here. Now the positioner 2 doesn't lower really well on single rope, but assuming that, you know, you're inspecting your cams properly and everything's in good working order, it does hold weight really well. So a lot of times I'll just take my lanyard positioner and I'll just switch it to my floating bridge here, just straight onto the floating bridge, and then I'll use that to kind of work position here, get myself out to the branch that I want. All right. And then I kind of just push the captain hook over the branch, bring it back to me, and depending on the situation I'm in, I'll hook the captain hook back to me, or if in this situation, no, we got one more. If we've got the, if I'm stable enough, I'll take the hook off, I'll put it to my harness for a solid anchor point. But anytime I'm using the captain hook, we're not using it as a primary tie-in. It's not meant to be life support.
So this is a tricky branch because, you know, we want to lift the canopy up so they've got more room in their yard, you know. And so we're trying to lift the canopy up for various reasons. But the problem with this is it's not a huge branch right here, but it's taking up a lot of space. But I don't have any good sustainable laterals to cut this back to. So a branch like this, if I wanted to remove all this foliage, I'd have to cut it all the way back to the trunk there. And you can see, I mean, basically you'd get like a little bit of clearance, you know, at the expense of making a huge wound right here. Like you can see the tree hasn't even closed up that wound from a while ago. So, you know, that one would be like 5 times the size, and it'd take a long time for the tree to close it up, all the while it's susceptible to get, you know, pests and decay in there. So I don't want to make that big of a wound for that little of a reward. So it might look a little funky and spindly, but I'll just cut the secondary branches off that for a while, and I'm gonna leave that. I think this tree would honestly look nicer without this on it, but it's just gonna make such a big wound. I just don't think it's worth it. So see, that branch is kind of gangly, kind of, frankly, it looks sort of weird, you know, but a lot of this pruning stuff is really, you kind of go by your gut, you know. So like I said, I've kind of sacrificed a little bit of aesthetics for the health of the tree. So I'm leaving that one, and you know, there's no really, a lot of times there's no right or wrong answer. It's not that clear what should be done. You're using your best judgment, and it's always a balance because this tree's in somebody's yard, right? We're worrying about aesthetics and the utility of the tree, right? So we want to accomplish their goals by creating more space, you know, and trying to preserve the tree, but we're also trying to, you know, we want the tree to look nice, you know. So it's a balancing act, you know. And no two people are going to prune the exact same way, and you might have cut that whole thing off, and that might have been just fine, you know. So that's what I'm going to do. And the worst part is sometimes the customers don't really understand that. You got to explain it, you know. I can't reach anymore, Caleb. Coming out of the bucket. So let's see. Do you see a lot of structure pruning to do up there? It looks pretty clean, honestly. I honestly see like raising the canopy right here a bit, and I don't really see that much more to do. center kill my rope, it hit my left nut. Oh, dude. Well, my harness has it all isolated, you know? It's all... it keeps coming in waves. I keep thinking the pain's over. It just starts over. Oh my god, okay, all right. Now that I'm up here, see the time I saw and kept my rope nice and stiff. Otherwise, when I take a step up, the sender will lift the rope and it'll be floppy and harder to do that. I like to put it, you always want to put a knot at the end of your rope. It's a stopper knot, so if you're rappelling, the rope doesn't get sucked through your device and you fall. I know a guy who died from doing that. Not having a stopper knot, really easy way to prevent yourself from rappelling off the end of your line. I'm totally done rigging. I got a tiny bit of deadwood up in this area. So you're done. So if you can just get over, if you can get that section of deadwood right there, and I get this section, I think the tree's good. There's a dead twig right below you. Hey Jesse. Good. You ready, Caleb? Yep. I got a stub. Hey Jesse, see this lateral right here? Does it stick out really far? What do you think about me cutting this? Or should I leave it? It's kind of a big wound, but...
Yeah, it sticks out further than anything on this side.
So, okay, I'll just take it. Okay. Yep. Dude, I think that, and I think that, dude, I think it's good. I think the tree's done. Honestly. I think it's done. Yeah, so this tree's done. That's it. It's fun working with the guys. So, you know, sometimes I hear stuff, you know, online like, you know, trees in the woods are fine. They don't even need to be pruned. Well, yeah, trees in the woods are a lot different than trees in residential areas. You know, the trees in the woods, they're not around houses and power lines and everything. So the best thing you can do to preserve your tree is to maintain it, get it pruned. If you just let it go wild and crazy, they can start to fall apart just like trees do all the time in the woods. Not all, the minority of trees live hundreds of years. You know, trees are falling apart all the time, so it's best to just maintain them. And like I said, if you just let it go like crazy, eventually all the neighbors are in the neighborhood, they're going to be all angry and they're going to want the whole thing cut down. So, you know, just keep it maintained, and in the end, that's the best way to preserve a tree like this. This is a really nice tree. It's a silver maple, and I think it looks pretty good now. So yeah, I think it's great. Oh, we should do another question.
Yeah.
So, question of the day.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? So, happy birthday says, great job guys. Do I need to have a beard to join your team?
Yes.
You don't.
Yes.
You don't have to have a beard, because look at Caleb. That's beard. That's not a beard.
That's a beard.
Okay, so maybe you need this.
It's bigger than Jake's.
It's not bigger than Jake's.
Jake has hair implants. His beard is a lie.
You need to have this much beard to come work here. It's not much, just a little. A few hairs on the chin,
Yeah.
you can come work here. So if you're looking at Caleb and you think that you can match what he's got going on, yeah, we'd love to have you on board. But you are gonna have to come up with a little bit of facial hair.
Yeah, you too, man.
Hey, good job with those numbers, Nick.
Thanks. Yeah. Caleb was a pretty solid choice to do this tree.
He was, yeah, you're right, he was.
He did great.
Wait a minute. Did anybody else do great? Yeah, so hopefully you like that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Warm up, dude.
You have one of those?
Yeah.